Debt repayment year for Chinese real estate firms, two major giants default on overseas bonds. Chinese major cities witness piles of homes selling at low prices, but lack buyer interest. Behind the explosive incident in Ningxia, skyrocketing initial installation fees for pipeline gas in the barbecue industry. Wagner Mutiny sends shockwaves through South China Sea, debates about consequences of Beijing's Taiwan offensive. It's all covered in today's China Truths. Debt repayment year for Chinese real estate firms, two major giants default on overseas bonds. This year is the debt repayment year for Chinese real estate companies. On the evening of June 23, Evergrande Real Estate, a subsidiary of Evergrande Group and a Hong Kong-listed company, issued a public announcement. It stated that since the second quarter of 2023, the Chinese real estate market has experienced continued weakness in sales, with monthly sales gradually worsening. Sales fell short of expectations, and the group's liquidity situation is deteriorating, with increasing pressure on overseas payments. Even with the group's best efforts, the availability of funds may remain under pressure, and cash may not be sufficient to fulfill current and future obligations. Therefore, the company was unable to pay the interest on the 7.75% senior notes due in 2024 before the grace period ended on June 23, 2023. The announcement showed that since July 1, 2021, Evergrande Real Estate has paid approximately $1.26 billion in principal and interest to overseas creditors, including around $930 million in principal and $330 million in interest. As of the closing on the 24th, Evergrande Real Estate's stock price was 0.128 Hong Kong dollars per share, down 5.19%. Prior to this announcement, Evergrande Real Estate was one of the few real estate companies in the industry that had not experienced a default on their overseas debt. This default by Evergrande Real Estate reflects the further intensification of the group's liquidity squeeze and marks the company's first overseas debt payment delay. The second is the real estate holding group, Greenland Holdings. On the same day as Evergrande Real Estate's announcement, Greenland Holdings released an internal news announcement stating that the company has once again defaulted on the $119.43 million notes that were extended for 1 year. According to Greenland Holdings' 2022 annual report data, the company's contracted sales amount reached 13.722 billion yuan in 2022, a year-on-year decrease of 40.4%. The contracted sales area was 1.9 million square meters, a decrease of approximately 29.5% compared to the previous year. The company's net loss was 5.098 billion yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 900.6%. In addition, recent announcements regarding debt defaults have been made by other real estate companies such as Evergrande Real Estate, Jinko Holdings, Sifi Holdings, and Yueshou Property Group. Since the beginning of this year, real estate companies have accelerated their efforts to resolve debt issues, with many implementing debt restructuring plans. However, currently, most real estate companies still rely heavily on debt extensions. According to a report released by the real estate research team at TF Securities, in 2023, the scale of domestic debt maturities in the Chinese real estate industry is estimated to be around 1.99 trillion yuan, a year-on-year increase of 13.3%. As of the first 4 months of this year, repayments totaling 905.3 billion yuan have been made, with approximately 1.09 trillion yuan of debt still remaining to be repaid. It is expected that the peak of domestic debt repayments will be concentrated between June and August this year. In terms of overseas debt, in 2023, the scale of US dollar-denominated debt maturities in the Chinese real estate industry is approximately $77 billion, equivalent to 549.043 billion yuan, a year-on-year increase of 31.4%. Due to some defaulting entities losing the ability to repay and entering the debt restructuring phase, the repayment scale of US dollar-denominated debt in the first 4 months of this year has been relatively small, with $70.8 billion still remaining to be repaid. The peak of debt repayments will be concentrated in September to October this year and February to March 2024. Looking at the situation of bond defaults by real estate companies, according to Wind data, as of June 9, there have been 188 defaulted bonds with a total outstanding amount of 212.376 billion yuan. Among them, 119 of the defaulted bonds are related to debt extensions, accounting for 76.86% of the total outstanding amount of defaulted bonds. Chinese major cities witness piles of homes selling at low prices, but lack buyer interest. For decades, China's real estate has been regarded as a reliable wealth reserve. However, with the economic downturn, homeowners in major cities such as Shanghai and Beijing are increasingly lowering their prices in hopes of selling their properties and cashing out. Despite their efforts of price reductions, many property owners have found it difficult to attract buyers. According to data from CRIC, the transaction volume of second-hand homes in Shanghai declined from 17,700 units in April to approximately 15,300 units in May. However, the number of listed second-hand homes reached a new record, reaching around 200,000 units by the end of April. As more properties flood the market, potential buyers are taking longer to make decisions. Consequently, a trend of bargaining, price cutting, and intense competition at lower prices has emerged, leaving sellers worried about the stagnant sales of their properties. Bloomberg reported that Ms. Yi, a Shanghai resident, sold her suburban house for 4 million yuan in April, which was 11% lower than her initial asking price. Another individual named Mr. Song, a banker, recently sold his apartment in Shanghai's Jing'an district for around 10 million yuan. He views this as the last opportunity to profit from the real estate boom. Entrepreneur Hu Liren, who currently resides in the United States, shared with NTD-TV that he knows a couple who recently returned to China and attempted to sell their 2 houses in Shanghai. However, they faced challenges as the prices of their older apartments had dropped by 30%, and they struggled to find interested buyers. Hu explained, "The problem is that there is simply no demand, no one is interested in buying. Moreover, houses like these are generally older properties, and buyers from outside Shanghai tend to purchase more. However, currently, people from outside the city are fleeing, seeking employment elsewhere due to the poor economy. Everyone is trying to escape, so there are essentially no buyers." Several videos show that in some real estate properties in China, multiple homeowners have simultaneously put up signs indicating low price transfers of their properties. Similar scenes can be observed in Guangdong and Jinan. Meng Jun, an insider said, "All real estate properties are being transferred at low prices. This is the future trend because they can't sell." Look at Shanghai, Beijing. Is there any transaction volume? How many real estate agencies have gone bankrupt in various places? They have all gone bankrupt. Why? Because there's no transaction volume. Everyone can see that the real estate market has reached its end, the good times are over, and the government can no longer deceive the people with real estate. Meng added, "There is no sign at all that can restore people's confidence. Look at the current situation, people's savings are increasing continuously, even though interest rates have already been lowered to a very low level. But people are still depositing money and not spending. Why? Because there is a lot of uncertainty about the future." According to American economist David Huang, in addition to the decline in residential real estate prices, it's not just the drop in housing prices that is causing wealth shrinkage. The current rental situation for commercial properties such as shopping malls and office spaces is also very unfavorable. This will result in poor performance in the valuation system for both businesses and individuals. As the dream of wealth diminishes, more and more homeowners, agents, and analysts no longer believe that real estate is one of the safest investments in China. This further worsens the already sluggish housing market. Behind the explosive incident in Ningxia, skyrocketing initial installation fees for pipeline gas in the barbecue industry. As previously reported, according to state media CCTV, on June 21 at around 20:40, an explosion incident occurred at Fuyong Barbecue Restaurant on Minzu South Street, Xincheng District, Yinchuan City, Ningxia Hui Autonomous Region, caused by a leak of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) cylinder. As of 8 o'clock on June 22, the accident has resulted in 31 fatalities and 7 injuries. The incident has garnered significant public attention, prompting the immediate response from the Communist Party's public security authorities. They have detained 9 individuals, including the restaurant manager, shareholders, and staff, while also freezing their assets. The incident has also drawn the high-level attention of Xi Jinping, who has issued important instructions. The exact cause of the accident is currently under investigation. However, several restaurant owners in the vicinity have shared some significant details regarding the devastating explosion. On June 22, the owner of a restaurant on Manching South Street in Jinfeng District, Yinchuan City, told Jimu News that his previous establishment had been using LPG cylinders. According to his understanding, the majority of local restaurants use LPG cylinders, while only a few financially capable catering enterprises use pipeline gas. The cost of opening an account for pipeline gas, including initial installation fees, can exceed 100,000 yuan, approximately $13,923, which is simply unaffordable for most small restaurants. Furthermore, since many local small restaurants operate in rented spaces, installing pipeline gas is not cost-effective. Following that, First Financial made phone calls to several restaurants and hotels in Yinchuan, and they all confirmed that they hadn't connected to natural gas. In order to facilitate cooking, some owners use LPG cylinders, while others in barbecue establishments mentioned using vegetable oil grills. Furthermore, according to a local snack shop owner in Yinchuan, they had attempted to connect to natural gas, but after careful consideration, they realized that the opening fee would exceed 30,000 yuan, which is already around 4 to 5 times their monthly rent. A staff member from a major pipeline gas operator in Yinchuan also verified that the cost for restaurants to connect to pipeline gas is generally over 10,000 yuan, approximately $1,393. As for the claim made by some restaurant owners about a cost of around 150,000 yuan to connect to pipeline gas, the staff member acknowledged that the previous cost included pipeline extension fees, which could account for such a high amount. However, this fee has since been eliminated. When asked about the cost of connecting restaurants on Manching South Street in Jinfeng District to pipeline gas, the staff member estimated it to be at least 30,000 yuan, over $4,100. Currently, this news has sparked lively discussions among the public. One user suggested a diversion tactic, saying, "Here they go again, trying to shift the blame." The root cause of the accident lies in the improper use of LPG cylinders in the restaurants. Does replacing them with pipelines guarantee safety? Could more serious accidents occur? Another user also criticized the high cost of initial gas installation, attributing it to the monopoly of gas companies. Another user expressed disbelief, stating, "The cost is even higher than the annual rent of some small storefronts in certain counties. It's outrageous." Users emphasized the need to address the issue at its root by tackling monopolies in the industry. According to a report by First Financial, gas accidents involving liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, are not uncommon in mainland China. In June 2022 alone, LPG accidents accounted for nearly 70% of the top 10 gas accidents in China. Furthermore, data indicates that in some cities, accidents involving LPG users constitute nearly 80% of gas accidents in urban areas. According to the National Gas Accident Analysis Report for 2021 released by the Safety Management Working Committee of the China Urban Gas Association, a total of 1,140 domestic gas accidents were analyzed and consolidated. Out of these, there were 455 natural gas accidents, accounting for 39.9% of the total, and 639 LPG accidents, making up 56.1% of the total. Wagner Mutiny sends shockwaves through South China Sea, debates about consequences of Beijing's Taiwan offensive. This past weekend, the news of the armed mutiny by the Russian private military company Wagner has shocked the international community and sparked a frenzy on the mainland's internet. Some netizens flooded the platforms with pictures, secretly expressing their hope for the downfall of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Comments saying, "There are too many rebels, and Zhang Nanhai won't be able to sleep peacefully," circulated widely. On June 24, Yevgeny Prigozhin, a close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin and the head of the Wagner Group, initiated the mutiny. The Wagner forces swiftly seized the strategic military stronghold of Rostov in Russia and advanced towards Moscow. However, in the afternoon of the same day, with the mediation of Belarusian President Lukashenko, Prigozhin accepted negotiations and ordered the troops to return to their Ukrainian camps. According to reports from Russian media, the previous charges of treason against Prigozhin will be dropped. Instead, he will go into exile in Belarus, and the Wagner soldiers will be granted legal immunity. Amidst Ukraine's major counteroffensive, the sudden mutiny of the Wagner Group has sparked various discussions drawing parallels between Putin's invasion of Ukraine and the potential attack on Taiwan by the CCP. Edward Wong, former China correspondent for the New York Times, tweeted, "If there's any single event during the Ukraine war so far that would make Xi rethink invading Taiwan, if he is considering that, this is the defection of the Wagner Group. The Biden administration's aid to Ukraine has led to this moment." A netizen responded, "It's definitely possible. I believe Xi Jinping lives in constant fear." The Wagner mutiny incident has also sparked discussions on Chinese social media. Chinese netizens have referred to the event as the Russian version of the Enlushan rebellion, saying, "Doesn't it feel like Shoigu is Yang Guizhong, the chef is Enlushan, and Putin is Emperor Xuanzong? Even the script is almost the same." During the reign of Emperor Xuanzong of the Tang dynasty, the Khitan general Enlushan, who was highly trusted by the emperor, gained significant power as a regional warlord and eventually launched a rebellion that led to the decline of the Tang dynasty. Similarly, Prigozhin, who was once Putin's chef, built the Wagner private military company under Putin's patronage and initiated this mutiny. In his televised speech on the afternoon of the 24th, Putin referred to the mutineers as those who stabbed him in the back but did not mention Prigozhin by name. Commentator Yushan believes that Putin's betrayal by his longtime ally Prigozhin would resonate with Xi Jinping, who also has close allies. Yushan wrote in an article that the CCP came to power through the barrel of a gun, and Xi Jinping currently solidifies his power and intimidates anti-Xi forces with the help of the military. Although Xi has strategically placed his own people within the military, there has been a major reshuffling of the top brass during the 20th Party Congress last year. However, it is difficult to say whether Xi can control the hearts of the lower-ranking generals. At the end of 2021, there were rumors of the downfall of the princeling Liu Yazhou, who wielded significant influence within the military. Several Hong Kong media outlets have reported on the Liu Yazhou case this year, but there has been no official confirmation or information. Recently, the CCP's military issued a document regulating the social interactions of military leadership cadres, urging them to constantly purify their social circles, living circles, and circles of friends. Yushan suggests that this unprecedented action indicates that Xi Jinping has a high level of insecurity regarding the military. If Xi intends to wage war in the Taiwan Strait, this could be the biggest hidden danger. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.